hardest part is just trying to figure out what to say. They say it'll just come to you. They told me this once that it'll just come to you. What'll come to me? What's just gonna come to me for no reason? What is it? What is just come my way? What is it? What is gonna come my way? Hello. Somebody tell me, because I've got not the damnedest clue what's supposed to just come my way. I don't really think anything just comes your way, you know? I don't know. I guess that's the best part of not knowing is not knowing. Because assuming to know or claiming to know and then not knowing is worse than just saying, fuck if I know. Jeez, I can't be swearing this early. Oh, whatever. A minute in, I can't even hold my tongue. That's alright, we're just gonna edit all this anyway because it's just a riff, so I guess we can fidget with that a little bit. Don't mind that, I'm just lifting the microphone skirt a little bit. I had to see what was under there. See what I was working with, you know? It's a little different. I've got a little bit different of a thing here. I'm gonna try to talk over the mic. I don't know. It's very different. Trying to figure out what to say, let alone how the mic should be, and breaking down every little detail is kind of something that I do in my brain. But then if all of those little details don't work out, it's like, fuck it, we ain't doing it today, you know? But here we are. It almost feels echoey, I guess. I don't know. I feel echoey. Is it echoey? Am I too close to the mic? Probably. Probably. I haven't gotten it down to a science yet, but if this is how it's supposed to be, then that's how it's gonna be. And you know, when you put the headphones on and you kind of just put everything out of your head and or put everything else outside of your head, it's real nice to, I guess, hearing yourself talk is pretty, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to do. To say that you don't like hearing yourself talk is kind of just a load of bullshit, I guess. Oh man, I mean, last episode we had a special guest in the studio, Jim, and you know, he was kind of being an asshole the whole time. He just didn't do his job properly, or he just really didn't have his shit together that day, and I hold him 100% accountable for that. You know, so he's not with us today. He's off, probably permanently. You know, he just couldn't get his shit together last episode. And I don't know what his fucking problem was. So I had to go out and hire somebody else, bring him in the studio. You know, we got Dave here today. Dave, you got anybody you want to give a shout out? Dave, give a shout out. All right, everybody, you heard it first from Dave. Shout out to number one in his book, you know. So thanks, Dave, for being here today. We really hope to get into some in-depth conversation. We've also got a special guest in the studio. Her name's Gracie. Gracie girl. Come here, Grace. Oh, here she comes. Hey, come here, Grace. Oh, look at her. She's a really good girl. A really good girl. She's joining me today. She knows that there's a storm brewing. You know? Well, probably not a storm. It's definitely going to be a nice day. But who knows what today brings? Who knows what the future's got in store? But again, why should we really care about the future? Let's just worry about what's going on right now, right here, in this moment. in this moment, I feel that feelings don't matter much. You have them and then they're gone. It's kind of like, what do I do with them? You have the feelings, and then it's like, what do you do with them once you had them? Because while you're having them, you're either enjoying it or not enjoying it, or you're somewhere in the middle. But even still, while you're having the feelings you're feeling, it's like, what do I do with these? Because when that feeling's over, that moment's over, you're like, I can't have that same feeling again. I can't do that same feeling. I wonder if that's why people are so obsessed with capturing every moment in a box, or a little smart device you keep on your person all the time. I wonder if that's why people are obsessed with that. Oh, Gracie, shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. Smooth. Anyway, I wonder if that's why we're so obsessed with capturing the moment in a phone. Because those moments, we really can't ever get them back. Like those feelings in the moment, those emotions you have in the moment, good or bad. You can never have that feeling again, that exact feeling at that time. And then we take a picture, or, of that moment in time, and you say, man, I really felt. You really can't recall. I mean, you could say, I was happy, say that the identical moment or the identical feeling that you had can never be recaptured. You can never feel that same way again, because that moment's so particular in time, that moment's so, like, that moment that just happened, that it's already gone. Huh? Huh? So it's like, is that something that we're forced to do? Is it something that we're, it's in our genes with a G? You know? I don't really know. I don't know. And the fact that I am inquiring, I guess, is something. And to be honest with you, I completely just forgot what I was going on about. So, on to the next thing. Let me start off by saying, welcome back to episode 3 of the Trap House Podcast. And you know what? It's nice having y'all back. Y'all. It's nice having you all. It's nice having you listen. It's nice having a little something different about some other human on the planet. It's happening a lot out there lately, but hey, thanks for stopping by. Is that what Mr. Rogers says? Thanks for stopping by. I mean, thanks for lending your ear and taking a seat on the proverbial couch, the proverbial bar stool. Jeez Louise, Gracie. Easy down there, man. I'll tell you though, having a dog is great. I've got a few dogs actually, but this dog in particular, name's Gracie. Gracie. Named after my great-grandmother. Technically not really my great-grandmother, but, an old human in my life. And, kind of like an old grandmother, great-grandmother. Real special lady named Grace. And what better way to dignify her life and name my dog after her? One day she's gonna be gone from here, and I'll take it. Hey, Gracie's carrying on her memory, I guess. Have you ever named your animal after a human that you knew? Now, that carries some pretty heavy weight in my book, I guess, because the second you put a name to it, like a Gracie girl. Every time I say Gracie girl, or I say Grace, or I say, hey, Grace, or I'm yelling because she's 10 houses up trying to get her some, Gracie girl. Hey, Gracie girl. Hey, Grace. Where you at, Grace? Or you're calling her for dinner. Or just saying, hey, just give her a quick rub, A little pat on the head. Hey, it's nice to see you today. Every time that name rings out, every time the name comes out of your mouth, you're forced to think about, the person you named her after, or the person you named him after, or the person you named you or him, whatever pronoun you stick to it. I don't really give a fuck. Just saying. You name an animal after a human that you once knew or that you still currently know, but in the future may or may not be there. Who knows what happens from day to day, but just saying, let's just boil it down. Let's not take it out of context too far. You name your animal, you name your pet after a human that you know that's alive or may not be alive, whichever. But every time you say that name to your pet or to your other pet, who knows? Every time you say the name, it's like a memory appears in your head, right? Even for a brief second, it makes you think about that person. Grace, makes me think about my great grandma a little bit. I want to know who gets away with naming their dog Buttercup or Spaz or some other ridiculous name that's not really a name. Maybe like a color, like smoke or gray smoke or smoky. I don't know. Just spitball. Eight Ball. I remember when I was a kid, I had a cat named 8 Ball because it was all black, and then right in the forehead was a big old white dot. From here to heaven, I swear. If you can find it, that's how true it is. But we name animals these weird names, right? We got 8 Ball, Spaz, Max. But when we give an animal or a pet a human name, it kind of gives it a distinctive character. I mean, in your own mind, obviously. Because every time you're reminded of whoever you named it after, or if it's just a family name, whatever, you'll think of somebody or a time. It makes you think of a time, a place. It makes you think of that person. And you can never guarantee when you say the name what time or place it's gonna be that you think of. Now I'll be honest. I'll be straight with you people because I mean I gotta be right because who cares, right? But anyway, when I think of Grace, I really, she's such a loving human that it just she just makes you want to do more for somebody else, you know? And she's just one of the nicest ladies. And that would be just something to think about, I guess, for the time anyway. If you name an animal after a loved one, it's nice to know that all those great memories come back and you can think about them. What a blessing, right? But anyway, that's how much is in a name. A name's not just a name, it's something that holds weight. You know? But anyway, here is something to think about that we brought it up last time, and I've obviously got to talk about it because it's something to think about. And to be honest with you, I still chuckle a little bit when I think about it because it's like, really, how racist are puzzles making us? It's almost like systematic racism built in, you know? Like color matching. Man. When you first start out with the puzzle, here's what I've thought this through. And I've gotten some positive feedback, some negative feedback, but guess what? I don't care regardless. But when you dump them pieces out, the first pieces you look for, right, are the edge. You always look for the edge. If you do a puzzle any other way than the edges first, you're a fucking psychopath. If you don't look for the edges first, you are a psychopath. That's like taking an orange and just biting into it. I mean, you're a psychopath. Anyway, so you get the barrier up first, right? What's the first thing you build in a puzzle? You build a wall. You put that picture frame up, right? You get the picture frame all up, you're good. Everything's good. You found the four corners. Wow, that sometimes takes forever. But anyway, you get that done. And then immediately after you build the walls to the prison for the pieces that are about to go into it, you separate them all by color. And it has to be by color. What are you going to do? Are you doing puzzles that have shapes that go together? Because that just doesn't make. Anytime you do a puzzle, I don't care what puzzle it is, you are separating color pieces. And then how hard is it to find those pieces matches? Jeez Louise, Taylor Swift. It's never that easy. So, I bring up the idea of systematic racism built into a puzzle, and I just overthought it, I guess. It's supposed to be a fun activity. And the first thing I've been thinking about for some time, is, man, you really got to segregate and separate all the colors. Now, I know how to solve the problem. Just do an all one colored puzzle. See how long that takes you and let me know. Do a solid colored puzzle and then get back to me. And you know what? Some people say it's difficult to get through a remodel with your spouse. Try to do an all one color puzzle. I don't care if it's 100 pieces or 1,000 pieces. It could be 12 pieces. Try to do a solid color puzzle with someone you love. And get back. Let me know how it goes in the comments. You know? I really want to know. And while you are commenting down there, just like nudge on that like button. Because it's on the way down. You know, as you're going down, just sneak by that little like button. And subscribe, obviously, because that's a big thing too nowadays. To be part of the team. You want to be part of the Trap House? Just subscribe. And then hit that bell notification. Ding, ding, ding. Dinner's done. You'll never know when the episode... I don't even know when they're coming out. I don't even know when I'm doing them most of the time. But it's okay. You'll know. Because you'll... Ding, ding. Trap House Podcast, episode 4. You know, coming soon. So really, what do we think? What do we think? What do we think about that? And then another thought would be, you know, when you get done with the puzzle, do you break it all apart? When you finish a puzzle, you put all that hard work into it, right? Do you if it's a big enough puzzle, do you break that puzzle up and put it back in the box? Or do you keep it, you roll it up in the felt? Do you put it in a frame? What do you do with the puzzle when you're done with it? I think putting all that work into a puzzle and then having to crinkle it all back up and then do it over again sounds pretty psychopathic to me as well. But anyway, it's done. It can be, that's, you choose to do what you choose to do, but I think once I'm done putting that puzzle back together, I'm happy with what I did, and I'm happy with it, you know? Building a puzzle, whether with someone or by yourself, is pretty tedious, but at the same time, it kind of makes you feel a little racist when you're done. Or while you're starting out, I guess. Oh, I don't want to put these green pieces over here. I don't want to put these orange pieces. But how am I going to finish the puzzle? You got to separate everything first and then put it together. Kind of get a plan together. But, you know, just a stupid thought coming from a fucking idiot. Well, I made you think, I guess. Probably not, though, because you're probably like, who listens to this shit? I wouldn't listen to it if I was you. Anyway, but here's for the next episode's something to think about. I'm thinking we're gonna go with reptiles as pets. Good idea or no? Well, we're gonna talk about it on the next episode. So maybe you got a week, maybe you got 8 months, maybe you got 3 months to think about it. But until then, reptiles as pets, good idea or not? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe you do. Let's talk about it. Let's figure things out. Because we all know that really in life, the only way to get through something is to talk about it. So let's do some talking. Let's talk about something. Let's get down and dirty with it. If you really want to know. I mean, you all know that this is obviously a podcast. I mean, I got a microphone. I got the cheapest goddamn microphone stand you ever seen in your life. I've had to fucking rig this thing up so many times. It's just aggravating, you know? But what do? I take that negative energy and I just rigged it up one more time, right? I've got a feeling inside my bones, you know, that it just needs to come out. So obviously I'm sitting behind this mic and I'm doing this. They call it podcasting, and really became famous 10, 11 years ago, and really took off. And honestly, really, what's happening here is radio. Have y'all listened to radio before? Listen to the morning show, the afternoon show, the night show. You know, again with the segregation, we got a country station, we got a rap station, we got a metal station, we got a rock, and we got a classic rock, we got a classic. Why can't we just play all that music, you know, or just have a channel that just plays all the music all the time, just different, you know? What a way to bring people together. That's the best way, isn't it, music? That's what I think anyway, but what the fuck do I know? But anyway, back to this whole idea. You know, this whole idea of doing this and listening to it online, and this became a huge thing a long time ago. And anybody who starts around now, like, there's not even a point to it, right? There's 0 point to even doing it. Anytime after, that's what they say. So what do we do when people say we can or can't do something? Sometimes I just do it to do it, because fuck what they said, right? Right? And let's just get the story about let's get the story out there about how this whole podcast thing came about, right? Why not? I mean, we'll scratch the surface about how it came about, because there is a real deep rooted reason for why this podcast is being made, and why my voice is carrying out on all these waves. And let me tell you right now, it looks really, really cool on the computer. It looks really, the waves, the way it looks, really, really cool. And to know that we can all connect wirelessly on this earth that we live on, and all I've got to do is just say, I've got to just vibrate the thing here in my neck. I just got to send some air up into there. It vibrates it. Ooh, and these things come up. The air turns into words. And somehow I know that, but the air comes up and it vibrates a certain way and it turns into words. And I'm saying these words into this microphone. And that microphone is sending these signals through a wire and across all these wavelengths. It's going all over the place. Honestly, it's really not really going anywhere beyond my ears, but from what I hear and what I see, it's crazy to think about. It's one of the craziest things to think about when you just really think about it. But how this podcast, The Trap House, came about is really more complex. I really would love to, let's just talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's get it out there. Why not, right? I mean, the whole point of doing it is to tell people the truth, right? Right? Dave, right? We're here to tell people the truth, right, Dave? Just nod or just wink or something, dude. Jesus Christ. These interns, I do not understand why they think they got the fucking God-given right there. Literally, today, Dave, when he got here, sat down in his fucking $250 game chair, right? I mean, Jim had it made. Jim fucked it up, so we got Dave in. Dave was not. He was literally curled up outside near my deck, saying he needed the job bad, And it doesn't even pay. I don't know. I guess he just needed a friend. So Dave's here, sitting at $200. Sits down. He's like, he has his hand out. I'm like, what's? I walk in the office this morning. He's sitting there with his hand out, and I'm like, what, Dave? What are you doing? He goes, Jim told me you'd have breakfast ready for me. What? Strike one, Dave. You know what I mean? Remember, Dave? You get me the cuff. Jim, that's why Jim's not here anymore. Sorry, you seen him and out the door. Dave, you got 2 more, okay? We're messing with the rhythm. So anyway, before Dave just rudely interrupted, just shut up, sip it, bud. Podcast came about because it was said to me by my oldest son, right? He says, Dad, how cool would it be if we had a podcast? You know, and at the time when that was mentioned, listen, we're going to go deep into it, okay? At the time when that was mentioned, it kind of just like as a passing thing. We were really killing it on Call of Duty or whatever game we were. I don't remember what game we were playing. Definitely a shoot 'em up game, you know. But anyway, what if we had a podcast? I said, you know, that's a great idea. It was a really good idea, and I didn't even have the. I can't take no credit for this one. 100% of the credit to this kid. You know, Jesus Christ, what a great kid he is, huh? But that was his idea. So his idea, so his voice, he had to make the words, right? He had to have the thought, right? And then he had to make this body that we're walking around in vibrate these pipes in his neck and say, hey, why don't we start a podcast? You know, he's really into Epic Mealtime. Big Epic Mealtime fan. I mean, if you don't know who they are, you got to be living under a rock by now. But if you don't, check them out. Not a sponsor, but I indulge, you know. Dad, why don't we start a podcast? Well, it costs money, right? So that at the time, 4 kids, you know, you're barely getting by as it is, you know. But anyway, the idea was spawned into fruition, and then over time, it was talked about, and ideas came about, but it all started with that first thought, and then the vibration out of the throat. Hey, Dad, let's start a what if we had a podcast? I mean, we were having such a great time live streaming our video games, you know. I mean, I'm shit, obviously. I'm shit. These guys, I don't know how they do it. My hand-eye coordination is shot. Completely shot, and we'll get to that in a later episode. But geez Louise, the hand-eye coordination for video games or, you know, tedious activities like that, shot. I can't tell my brain to pick my nose, to tell my hand to pick my nose sometimes. I don't understand how they build so fast. Just saying. But I'm trailing off. He has the idea. Big man has the idea. So then this occurs later on down the road. So this all happened because of the idea of, at the time, I think it was 12. But at the time, 12 or 13, having the idea to create a podcast. And here it is. This is the fruits of his thought. It should be done, I guess. Because if you don't like it, honestly, I don't care, right? We've addressed that issue already. Caring is not really. I mean, it's not like I don't care, but it's like I don't care. I can't. If you signed my paycheck, maybe I'd care. But Jesus Christ, I don't even get a paycheck for this. So it's like I'm doing it for Dave over here. What do you think, Dave? Dave, tell us. Oh my God, I just burned through these guys. Anyway, I really appreciate you being here, Dave. It really means like a ton to me. Gracie was in here. She had to go. You know, when they gotta go, they gotta go. Shake it off, baby. So the podcast is something that I really, 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 really like doing. And now that I've forced myself to have the time to do it, it's even better because you just go. Just go, and you never know where you're going to end up. I mean, by the end of this, who knows? We may be in the future. Man, to be in the future, that'd be cool, huh? But once you get there, you're in the present. Just saying. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Just kidding, we ain't ending right now. I've got a lot of thought left in me today, you know? But really thinking about the podcast, getting me thinking about my son Chris and how much it makes me think about what needs to be done for this. What more can I do to to get this podcast better? I mean, I definitely will be upgrading this arm that's here because his arm can't even hold up the 30-ounce mic it's holding. I'm really, really, really not behind this arm right now. I've fidgeted with it so many times. But that's that, man. I've got no worries for the rest of my day.
Smooth.
How frequently can we be distracted? How easily is it that we can be taken from one thing to another? Thought is very powerful. It's a very powerful thing. It's a very powerful tool. And to use it against yourself is never good. Don't ever let yourself down. Okay? I mean, you'll fail, but don't let yourself down. I mean, that's like, just don't do it. You have the ability to do great things, and you will continue to do great things. So continue to do them. You build towards it, you work towards it, you dream it, you create it. Just do it. That's it. And that's what this podcast is. It's just a thought turned into something. It's really nothing, but it's something to somebody. I get asked sometimes, how are you doing today? How often do we just say, oh, good, whatever, sorry. Lately, I don't know if it's just me, but lately, I've been feeling a lot better. I feel a lot better. I'm more in the swing of things. Things are opening back up and shutting back down as we speak, but that's neither here nor there. We're not going to talk about that, but the ability to just be able to go out and do whatever the hell you want because you're a human is one of the best feelings in the world to have. To be able to wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to do this. And to be able to have that is something people take for granted. People take that for granted. To be able to wake up and make a choice and say, hey, I'm going to do this or do that. But it's a great thing to have. So, get up and do or be, It doesn't take much effort, just get up and be and get up and do. You're all incredible humans on a big old orb. Apparently. Don't even get me going on that. But anyway, we're all here with it. We're all here with it, and we're all here to stick together through it. So why not have a good time doing it, right? Let's have fun doing it. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It's been an interesting ride these past couple of years. These few years. Geez, I've been on the planet quite a long time, but you know what I'm thinking about? I'll tell you. This is what I'm thinking about right now. At this moment, what just popped in my head for no reason. I remember a time me and my brother went on a little, like a walk. It was like a scavenger hunt. My parents didn't own much land, but it was some land. And along the driveway, we had like a patch of like a wooded area. I think it maybe had been the next door neighbor's farm. Anyway, there was some woods that we would just go and we would get lost and climb a tree. A lot of skinned knees and scraped elbows, and Not a lot of broken bones, but being a kid outside is just remembering this memory is just it just takes you way back. But anyway, you get ready to go outside. We're playing. We're having a great time, and geez Louise, we're running through the woods, and all of a sudden I stepped, and the ground just got real soft, real quick. Oh shit! Right after me, I fell. My brother right behind me, he stepped in the same area I stepped, which it's just the ground just got real soft, real quick. We both fell. Come to find out, we stepped on a ground bee's nest, and they were fucking pissed. This is two kids out. Craziest thing. Stepped it. Holy shit! We were covered. We didn't know what to do. They swarmed. It was like you want to talk about an animal, a species of animal that really work together. Not only can they pump out some get that honey, bro, but they will sting the fuck out of you as a group. Like if they're going out, they're all going out together. But anyway, we over 100 times a piece. Over 100 times a piece. If we weren't, I don't know what saved us that day. To be honest with you, after we got stuck, they were in our clothes, stinging the shit out. I don't. I was talking about the memories earlier and like being able to capture that memory, to be able to feel. I don't remember what it felt. I don't feel it. But I know that it happened, and it happened a lot. We were young, really 8, 7. Me and my brother are only a couple years apart, but young, very young kids getting stung over 100. It was like an assault on the freaking skin elastic. Crazy, bro. But I'll tell you right now, you know what? You know who took care of us? My mom. I've never seen so much. Oh Lord, so much mud. So much mud. I don't remember if we went to the hospital or not. Maybe. I do remember being covered in mud though at one point during this. And it was to extract the stinger or whatever. Some kind of old trick, I guess. But till this day, having that thought just out of nowhere made me think about my brother. Made me think about how much bees work together, I guess. But really made me think about him. Kind of was like, made me feel like, is he okay? Because those bees, they were pretty bad that day. I do remember I think he got the worst end of it. Maybe he did. I don't know. I'd have to ring him up. It's been a while, but anyway. Yeah. Jeez Louise, kids out in the yard. But I'm telling you, you could play connect the dots, and there wouldn't be enough dots to connect at the end of the day. There would be more than enough dots to connect. And you can't even make nothing out of it. That's how it's woof. And I guess the positive side is we both came out alive. Neither one of us ended up with really anything crucial. I do remember a lot of itching. Oh my God. After all the pain, Jesus Christ, then the itching like a son of a bitch. Well, what do I know? That was just a thought, random thought coming to my head. And you know what? I guess it's best to let it out to you than geez Louise, thinking about it. It's just fun to think about too. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to think about the view I'm seeing it from, because the view I'm seeing it from is like I'm seeing like through the trees, me and my brother together stepping. I'm not like seeing it through my eye. I don't understand how I'm seeing it, but I'm seeing it in a different view. How do you remember things? When you remember things, how do you remember it? Dave, how do you remember things? Do you remember it through like what you see, or do you kind of just like get an idea of the surroundings and then like see it from a sky view? Do you see it from below? Would you see it through the eyes of like the person that you were with? Could you see yourself through? How does that work? How do you remember things? You, the listener, how do you, when you remember things, do you remember through your eye view? I don't know. It's just it's crazy, but to think about that, that's there you go. There's a little chunk of it for you. You got a little tidbit. Thankfully, I'm alive. Well, I think, geez, Louise, I'm not really sure what to say here. But anyway, what a thought to have, and what a thought to be able to put out there to the universe. Very, very intriguing. What a thought. It was nice. I hope everybody out there today, tomorrow, who's ever, whenever you're listening, if you're listening to this in the future, which would be your present, I hope that the day you're having is magnificent and wonderful. And I hope and want everybody to know that just think positive. Think positively. The negativity is no longer needed. I mean, this society is basically ruling it all out as it is. So why don't you just get ahead of the curve and just start thinking positively? Just put that out there. Just putting that out there. I know I seem, geez Louise, sometimes I can't even keep to a thought, but there are times that are better than others. I talk too fast. I move too fast. You're all over the place, Epiff. You don't ever sit still. How can you do some? Why are you doing all? Listen, some of us were wired differently, and to think that people are trying to put everybody in their own little cube. Listen, how about this? How about this? Just enjoy the life that you're allowed to live. Just enjoy the life you're allowed to live. Enjoy it. Don't take it for granted. And remember, always remember to keep it classy. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, it's Epiphany Chris at the Trap House. Shut up, Dave.